Class, now we start with the exercise 5C. In this, the first question says, write 5 fractions equivalent to each of the following. Now, before I start with this question, first of all, you should understand what equivalent fractions are. What do you mean by equivalent fractions? So, equivalent fractions are those fractions which represent the same part of whole. It represents same part of the entire figure, which represent the same part of whole. So let me explain you this with the help of an example. Suppose I have a sandwich. So what is this? A sandwich. Now if I divide this sandwich into two parts and I have eaten one part of it, so how much I have eaten? I have eaten one part out of total two parts. Now if I divide this sandwich into four parts and the same part I have eaten, this is the same part which I have eaten. Now how much I have eaten? I have eaten two parts out of total four parts. Now if the same sandwich I divide into 8 parts and the same part I have eaten. Now how many parts I have eaten? I have eaten 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parts out of total 8 parts. Now can you see the part which I have eaten is the same, but the fractions have changed every time with the number of divisions I have made. So if I had divided this into 2 parts, that meant I have eaten 1 by 2. But when I divided into 4 parts, it meant that I have eaten 2 parts out of 4. This same part, I am talking about this same part. So what are equivalent fractions? They represent the same part of whole. So they're representing the same part of this figure. So all these are equivalent fractions: 1 by 2, 2 by 4, 4 by 8. Now if I simplify them, look at this. This becomes 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8. So all of them are representing the same fraction after simplification: half, half, half. So this 1 by 2, 2 by 4 and 4 by 8 all are equivalent fractions because they are representing the same part of the whole. Now how can you get equivalent fractions? So how can you make equivalent fractions? So equivalent fractions I can make by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Let me give you one example. Suppose I have the fraction 4 by 8. So I said you can get the equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerator and the denominator with the same number. So what you get? 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. So this fraction is equivalent to this fraction. You can multiply the numerator and denominator with any number, but it should be the same. Like I can now multiply with 9. So both numerator and denominator with 9. 9 4s are 36. 9 8s are 72. So this fraction is equivalent to this fraction because I multiplied the numerator and denominator with the same number. Now I said either you can multiply the fraction with the same number, or you can also divide with the same number. Now both of them, I can see that both of them are divisible by 2. So with the same number you have to divide. So this becomes 2 2s are 4 and this is 2 4s are 8. Now so this fraction is equivalent to this fraction. So what do you have understood? That first of all, equivalent fractions are that they are the fractions which represent the same part of the whole or which have the same value. The fractions which have the same value. And how can we get equivalent fractions? We can get equivalent fractions by multiplying or dividing the given fraction with the same number. Now let's come to the first question, which says give 5 equivalent fractions of the given fractions. So first is 2 by 3. So I said we can get the equivalent fractions if I multiply the uh, numerator and denominator with the same number. So I can multiply the fraction this numerator and denominator with 2, then I can multiply with 3 because I want 5 fractions. So I can multiply with 4, I can multiply with 5, this 2 by 3 I can multiply by 6. So first I have multiplied this 2 by 3 by 2, then with 3, then with 4, then with 5, then with 6. Now what you will get? First fraction would be 2 2s are 4, 3 2s are 6. So this is my 2 2s are 4 and 3 2s are 6. So this is my first equivalent fractions. Next 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. So this is my next equivalent fraction. 2 4s are 8, 3 4s are 12, then 2 5s are 10, 3 5s are 15, then 2 6 are 12 and 3 6 are 18. So all these are equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. So this is how you get the equivalent fractions. Now let me take one more example. Let me take the second part. It's 4 by 5. So I said the 4 by 5, how can I get equivalent fractions? If I multiply with the same number, numerator and denominator with the same number. So I can multiply with 2, I can multiply both of them with 3, I can multiply both of them with 4. Any number you can multiply them with. 5, I can multiply them with 6. So what you will get? 4 2s are 8, 5 2s are 10, 4 3s are 12, 5 3s are 15, 4 4s are 16, 5 4s are 20, 4 5s are 20, 5 5s are 25, 4 6 are 24, 6 are 30. So what are equivalent fractions of 4 by 5? It's 8 by 10, it's 12 by 15, equivalent fractions. That is why I'm putting the sign of equal to. Then 16 by 20, then 20 by 25, and then 24 by 30. So all these are equivalent to 4 by 5. Now come to the second question. In this they have given you a pair of fractions, means two fractions they have given you, and they are asking you whether they are equivalent fractions or no. Means whether they have the same value or no. Now how can I find this? The method which can apply is of cross multiplication. Which method I will apply? I will apply the method of cross multiplication. Now what does this cross multiplication means? That this 5 I will multiply with 24 and this 20 I will multiply with 6. Now let's multiply. 5 I will multiply with 24 and 6 I will multiply with 20. I will multiply with 6. Now when you multiply, then you get 120, and here also 120. Now you can see when I cross multiplied them, 5 with 24 and 20 with 6, I get the same product, I get the same answer. Now when you get the same answer after cross multiplication, it means that both the fractions that are given are equivalent. 5 by 6 and 20 by 24 are equivalent fractions. Now come to the next part. This is the fifth part. Again I have to find whether these two fractions are equivalent or no. So what I'll do, I'll cross multiply them. 1 I will multiply with 94 and 9 I will multiply with 3. Let's do that. 1 with 24 and 9 with 3. So 24 1s are 24 and 9 3s are 27. Do I get the same answer after cross multiplication? No. I am getting here 24 while this is 27. So after cross multiplication I am not getting the same answer. 1 by 24 is not equal, so this is the sign of not equal. You put a sign of equal and crosses, so this becomes not equal. 1 into 24 is not equal to 9 into 3, so it means that 1 by 3, this fraction, two fractions are not equivalent. Class, now the third question. In the third question they are saying find equivalent fraction of 3 by 5 having denominator 30. So what are equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are those fractions which have the same value, and I told you how do we find equivalent fractions? By multiplying the numerator and denominator with the same number. So let's see this. So they are saying find equivalent fraction of 3 by 5. Equivalent fraction means I'll put a sign of equal to. The first one is that equivalent fraction which I will find, that should have the denominator 30. So I'll put a 30 as a denominator. And the second part says that 3 by 5 is equivalent fraction, whatever I will find out, it should have a numerator 24. So numerator 24. Now we will see this. Denominator is given and I have this denominator. So how I can make 5 equal to 30? So if I multiply 5 with 6, so 5 multiplied by 6 becomes 30. So I told you when we form the equivalent fractions, we multiply the denominator and numerator with the same number. So it means if 5 into 6 is 30, then it means that numerator also I have to multiply with 6, the same number. So 3 6 18. So this is my required answer. So they were asking you find equivalent fraction of 3 by 5 having the denominator 30. Now in the second part they are saying to find the equivalent fraction of 3 by 4 which should have numerator 24. Now I will see, it means I have to find denominator here. Now I can see how can I turn 3 into 24. If I multiply this with 8, it becomes 24. 3 8s are 24. Now it means with the same number I will multiply the denominator also. So this becomes 5 8s are 40. So this is the equivalent fraction to this with the numerator 24, and this is the equivalent fraction of this with the denominator 30. Now let me take the fifth part. In the fifth part they are asking you, in the fifth question they are saying find the equivalent fraction of 6 by 11 having the denominator 77 and the numerator 60. The same. Now they are asking you to find the equivalent fraction of 6 by 11. In the first, the denominator should be 77, and again the equivalent fraction of 6 by 11 in which the numerator should be 60. Now let's, if here the denominator is given, so I have to find the numerator. So I will see how 11 I can make into 77 multiply by 7. So it means the numerator also I will multiply with 7. So 6 7s are 42. So this fraction is equivalent to this with denominator 77. Now here the numerator is given and I have to find the denominator. So I will see how 6 has become 60. So 6 10s are 60. It means 11 also I will multiply with 10 and it will get, I'll get 110. So this fraction is equivalent to this fraction with the numerator 60. The seventh question, in this you are given the fraction 36 by 48 and they are asking you to get the equivalent fraction of this. You have to get the equivalent fraction of this first with the numerator 9 and second again the equivalent fractions of this with the denominator 4. Now as you can see, this number is smaller. It means this fraction, this number has numerator has been divided by something, so that I get 9. So with what should I divide this with, it means this, if I divide this with 4, so 4 9s is 36. So I told you we can get equivalent fraction either by multiplying the numerator and denominator with the same number or by dividing also. So it means this, if dividing by 4 I get 9, so it means this also I will divide with 4. With the same number I have to divide, so I'll get 12 over here. So this fraction is equivalent to this with the numerator 9. Now again, as you can see here, the denominator is given 4, so this is smaller than this. It means this has been divided by something so that I can get 4. So how you can, if you can't get this with what this has been divided, you can divide both of them. So what comes 12? It means if you divide this with 12, 12 4 is 48. So this also I will divide with 12. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. So 12 3s are 36. So this is the fraction equivalent to this with the denominator 4. So I told you that because this equivalent fraction which I have to make is smaller than this, so it means this number has been divided with something. And if you cannot find out with what number you have divided this with, so you can divide these two numbers, 48 divided by 4, and whatever quotient you get, it means that this number is divisible by this, divided by this to get 4. So the same I have to divide the 36 also with, so I get the answer 3. So 3 by 4 is equivalent to 36 by 4. Now the ninth question. In the ninth question, they have given you some fractions and they are asking you to reduce them in the simplest form. Now, what do you mean by simplest form? Simplest form means when the HCF of the numerator and denominator is 1. When the HCF, highest common factor of the numerator and denominator, is 1. Let me explain you by taking this. Now they are asking you to reduce. Reduce means I have to divide them with a single number. Now you can see 9 and 15 both can be reduced by the table of 3. So like this, 3 3s is 9 and 3 5s is 15. Now you can see that 3 and 5 I cannot divide them with any number. Together I cannot divide them with any number except 1. So it means they are divisible now only by the number 1, means their HCF now is 1. The highest common factor that can divide these two numbers now is 1. So it means this is in the simplest form now. Now if I take this example, you can see both of them I can divide on the table of 2. 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, and 2 30s are 60. Now again I can divide them on the table of 6. 6 4s are 24 and 6 5s are 30. Now this 4 and 5 which I get, I cannot divide them together on any number except 1. See, I cannot reduce them further because they are not divisible by any number except 1. It means their HCF now is 1. So it means this 4 and 5 is in the simplest form. So now let's come to the next one. As you can see, both are even numbers. I can divide them on the table of 2. 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, and 2 9s are 18. Now I get 42 and 49. So I can see that both of them are divisible on the table of 7. 7 6 are 42, 7 7s are 49. Now I can see that 6 and 7 cannot be reduced further. They are divisible now only by the table of 1. Means now their HCF, highest common factor the highest number with which I can divide them now is only 1. So their HCF is 1. So when the HCF is 1, it means they are in the simplest form. So the answer of this is 6 by 7. So I have reduced this fraction in the simplest form. I have reduced this fraction in the simplest form. I have reduced this fraction in the simplest form. Now the 10th question, in this they have given you some fractions and they are asking you whether these are in simplest form or no. Whether these are in simplest form or no. So if you're what do you mean by simplest form? If the HCF of its numerator and denominator is 1. So let me take out the HCF of 8. So what are the factors of 8? The factors of 8 are, you know how to take out the HCF, you have learned in your previous class. So let us recall how do we get the HCF of given numbers. Like 8 I can divide with 1, 2, 4 and 8, and 11 is a prime number which is divisible by 1 and 11. So what is the common factor of both of them? The common factor is 1 only. So it means, because their HCF is 1, if the HCF of numerator and denominator is 1, it means that this is in the simplest form. So this is in the simplest form. Now let me do the other example. Take out the factors of 9. It's 1, 3 and 9. And what are the factors of 14? 1, 14s are 14, 2 7s are 14 and 14. So these are the factors of 14 and these are the factors of 9. So which is the common factor? Which is the highest common factor? Only 1 is the common factor. So it means their HCF is 1. So it means these are in simplest form. Also you can see that you cannot reduce them. You cannot reduce them. So the fractions which I cannot reduce them further, they are in the simplest form. Now let me take out the factors of 25. 1 25s are 25 and 5 5s are 25. So these are the factors of 25. And what are the factors of 36? 1 36 are 36, 1 and 36. For the 2 18s are 36, right? And 3 12s are 36. So both are factors of this. Then 4 9s are 36. 4 and 9 both are the factors of 36. Then 6 6 are 36. So these are the factors of 36. Now which is the common factor? So among them only 1 is the common factor. So their HCF also is 1. So it means this also is in the simplest form. And also you can see that you cannot reduce them on any number. So this is in the simplest form. Let me take one more example. Like they have given you 8 and 15. So what are the factors of 8? 1 8s are 8, 2 4s are 8, and no other table. 15 1 15s are 15 and 3 5s are 15. So these are the factors of 8, these are the factors of 15. So which is a common factor? Only 1. It means their HCF is 1. So it means this is in the simplest form. So when the HCF is 1, it means the fraction is in the simplest form. Also you can see that you cannot reduce them on any table. So the fractions which I cannot reduce them further, it means they are in simplest form. Now in the next question, in the 11th question, they are asking you to replace the box by the correct number. Means this boxes we have to fill with the correct number. Now look at the first one, 11th first part. You can see that this is a blank which I have to fill, and in between you can see the sign of equal. It means I have to make equivalent fraction of this. Now the same, since the numerator is given, I will see how this 2 has become 8. So this 2 has become 8 by multiplying with 4. It means 7 also I have to multiply by 4. So 7 4s are 28. Now look at the second example. This new denominator I know, so I will make the relation between them. How 5 has become 35. 5 multiplied by 7 is 35. It means this 3 also I'll multiply with 7. 3 7s are 21. Now how this 5 has become 20. 5 4s are 20. So it means 8 also I'll multiply with 4. 8 4s are 32. Now I can see that 56 has become 7. It means this has been divided by something, because it's this second fraction is smaller than this. It means this has to be divided. Now 56, if I divide both of them, and you will get with 7 8s are 56. So it means this has been divided by 8. So 8 7s are 56. So this also I have to divide with 8. 8 5s are 40. So this is how we get the answer.